All right, it's around midnight right here. We were still debating about the marketing strategy we're going to use for the Wang shield. But
TM.
Again, yeah, you heard that right here. We're trademarking that right now.
Patent pending.
Copyright, everything. We've got it all, the Wang shield.
Registered trademark.
And we are so totally going to sell that. We really are.
New around midnight, brought to you by the Wang shield.
Maybe we can make it out of, like, soda cans. We can cut them in half or something like that, you know?
Ow!
Don't be talking about cutting anything
Yeah.
around my... Nah, man. Come on. Inappropriate. Inappropriate.
Plus, we have to make one for the ladies.
Oh, yeah, what would we call that one? Because
The muff stopper.
Huh? No.
That might be a thing already.
We gotta work
Yeah,
on that one.
yeah.
We gotta workshop it.
Yeah, we'll have to put together some focus groups. And
Yeah, I'll put together some
Actually, maybe we should change the name to the V shield and the P shield.
V shield. Yeah, yeah.
I think they already have pea shields.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you said last time.
Yeah.
Plus, that's what she said.
Okay, so maybe we could call it the. No, that would be bad too. I was gonna say we could have the V and D shields, the VD shield. That's a completely
That's
different.
what got us into this situation in the first
right.
place.
Yeah, that's okay. We got to work on that, but still, we're trademarking.
You know,
that.
actually, that may also be a contributing cause.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah.
But then, why would that be a factor in more developed?
Because they have a
continents?
lot more time to screw around. They do it recreationally.
Well, no, okay, but if you look now, we're totally derailing our conversation, but AIDS seems to have most largely affected the African continent, right?
I don't know.
I believe that it did.
I guess.
And so, why not one of the other STDs then? Why only that?
Oh, man, they all have. They all affect all of the continents. The only reason it's such a big deal in Africa is because they don't have all the access to the medications that everybody else does.
Interesting.
And then they're in some cultures. Well, I mean, it's a long, deep
Well,
story.
and-
And plus the CIA.
And this another fantastic segue here. This leads into our next discussion when you're talking about them not having access to medications. So check out this interesting scientific fact that was discussed earlier this week. Anybody here know what the current world population is?
7.4 billion.
You just read that off of our notes.
Actually, I heard that on something a couple of days
Yeah,
ago.
7.4 billion. All right, here's a question for you. What was the population 100 years ago?
1 billion.
1 billion.
You guys are all reading off the same note sheet here.
Then why are you asking the question? You know we have the answer.
I wanted to see if you guys
I'm not
would
going to sit here and have you
actually think
making
about
me
this.
look like a fool.
Okay, anyway, so in the last 100 years, there has been a 7-fold increase in the population. If we take that as a given, in the next 100 years, if we're looking at another 7-fold increase, that means we will jump from 7.4 billion to over 49 billion.
Never going to happen.
Trump's gonna take care of that.
Yeah, we're going to build a wall around people's genitals to slow down the
The pea
population
shield.
growth.
Yeah, okay.
Pea
So
shield.
We're going to
Brought
make
to
the
you
babies
by-
build it.
here's the question. Where are we going to put 49 billion people?
Where do we put 7.5 billion people? There's still enough room on the planet for everything. The only reason why we don't have enough resources is because people are greedy.
You think we could actually fit 49 billion people on this planet?
If we wanted to, yeah.
That would be...
I think we could
Sure,
do it.
you could fit them, but
I mean, India alone is what, 2 billion?
Well,
you
anyway,
you're stretching your resources pretty thin.
What-
China's at 5 billion.
what I really wanted to get to,
It's
or
gonna be-
what I was really trying to get at with this, is that how did we get to 7.4 billion in 100 years? And
Okay,
Is
the
it-
man has...
yeah, no, this isn't that kind of a lesson.
pea.
Is it maybe the fact that we have actually stopped nature from running its course and naturally limiting the population growth?
no, I think just as many people are dying. I think we're just screwing a lot faster.
No, I think people are
What the hell are you talking about?
people are definitely living a lot longer.
Yeah.
Than
Well,
Well,
not all people.
people
I
are
think
living
on the
longer.
average, I don't think that's the case.
But
Like,
let's-
if you took all of the people, I think the average age of death is probably maybe
Let's think
marginally
of- let's
From
let's go back
when?
and let's go back and look at the European continent. You know, back more than 100 years ago, you had the Great Plagues that wiped out thousands of people. When was the last time you heard of an epidemic in the
Bird flu.
world? Yeah, but how many people actually got wiped out by that epidemic?
That was a
It'd be like
that was a weak epidemic.
tens.
Tens of people.
Tens of people, exactly. You know, we have medications for so many things that actually some of the infections are becoming resistant to the medications now, which is its
Joe,
own
you're
problem.
sitting here talking like you haven't watched The Walking Dead.
What?
It's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen. Atlanta's
The zombie
gonna collapse.
apocalypse? What?
It's gonna happen.
No.
It's gonna happen.
Coral. You're not helping us here. I mean,
I think global warming is gonna kill us all.
The thing that doesn't exist.
yeah. Wait, didn't you just say you don't believe in global
Don't try to throw
warming?
my own words back at me.
So wait, are you,
Chevelle 2020.
Todd? Are you gonna go out and start building an ark? I mean, what's the deal with the
Oh, that's a great idea.
global warming?
Yeah, I definitely have a bucket of supplies in my backyard. Buried, so that nobody else can get it.
Yeah, but if we get flooded, isn't that gonna be a bit of a problem if you've buried it?
I'm gonna put this half a sandwich back there. I'll be good. That'll last me like a couple weeks, right?
Oh, easily.
Yeah. I'll get that in a couple of years. It'll be
No,
just
wait.
fine.
It's gonna last me a couple of weeks because I'm gonna come up to your house with a bat because that's all I'm keeping around.
wrapped in barbed wire.
You guys are not taking this seriously at all.
I honestly don't believe it's a problem. I really don't believe it's a problem. One
It's
of two things
definitely
is
a
going to happen.
problem.
Actually, I'll just say one of two. One of two things is going to happen.
Okay.
Nature's going to kill us, or we're going to kill ourselves.
So
That's
you think that's going to be the mass epidemic that wipes out the population? Is Kim Jong-Il over there in
every
North
time.
Korea?
I
who
think we'll
keeps
probably
testing
end
missiles?
up imploding.
Speaking of which, did you hear that he launched another missile overnight that actually got right off, or basically could reach the coast of Japan, basically sending out a warning shot saying, "Hey, look, we got an ICBM and we can touch you."
Kim Jong-Un.
When is somebody going to just blow up that country?
It's never going to happen.
You don't think so?
No, because of Bernie Sanders.
What?
As long as you have a person like Bernie Sanders that is a legitimate candidate in this country, you're never going to have that happen. There are way too many pacifists, way too many people who are going to cry, and they think Kim Jong-il is just misunderstood.
Weren't you just the one saying that we have to accept our president?
Yes, absolutely.
And he's
But
boneheaded
you
enough
don't
to
understand-
actually
you don't
go to
understand the
war
reason why
with
I
his
say that.
generals.
You don't understand the reason why I say that.
You're right. You're not
when
making
you
any
have
sense
a
at all.
president, the one reason, and I've said this consistently, the one thing that I love about Donald Trump is he means what he says. Yes, what he
It
says
could be
can be
misguided and
incredibly
completely wrong.
stupid. He can be incredibly stupid, but he means it and he follows through.
Uh-huh.
We are 7 months through his presidency, and he's already done several attempts, failed, of eliminating the Obamacare.
Yeah, well, okay.
It took Obama 2 terms to get that done.
I could get behind him
2
more
terms.
if he was actually willing to send some bombs over toward
Wait,
Kim
didn't we?
Jong-il.
How is
and
he gonna
didn't
do
we
that?
start the
How
show
is he gonna do
saying
that?
something about how Trump was campaigning?
Oh, he's
and
already got raised his
getting
finances for his next
LGBT
election.
people behind him to vote for him and just
I'm
telling
not-
him whatever
oh,
he
that's-
I don't
wanted.
see how
I don't
he's
think
gonna
Trump's
do
going to
that.
let any
Yeah.
LGBT people behind him.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Do you have anything besides Mexican food?
What was that?
I think he missed. He fat fingered that.
That
one.
was strangely appropriate.
That was a good
Oh
one.
my
That was
gosh.
great. But yeah, so
I'm at a loss.
how can you say Trump is following through with everything he says?
What did
and
he
he's-
say he was going to do? What were his main things? Build a wall, get rid of Obamacare. Those are the 2 big things. At least those are the 2 things that the media would have you believe were his entire basis. And he has emphatically attempted to do both of those
So
things.
far, the only thing he's actually been successful at is stopping people from coming into the country. All
Which
the
is what he said he
managed
would
to-
do.
He managed to pass the
and he
Muslim
did that
ban.
within 2 months of his
He,
presidency.
he managed to pass the Muslim ban.
Within
That's
2
what
months
he
of
has
his
done,
presidency.
which I think
No.
is a completely misguided approach to any kind of a terrorist problem.
How would you solve it?
I certainly wouldn't. I'm not for just painting with a broad brush and eliminating all peoples we don't necessarily understand from coming into the country.
So what would you do? I hear what you wouldn't do, but I want to know what you would do.
You know what? Honestly, I think I would have left it business as usual. I think you try to increase security at the borders, but just cutting people out wholesale, not the answer.
Yeah, I feel like there's just got to be more training and
Oh, come on. That's not going to work. Anything government ever attempts to do fails, inevitably.
then
Okay, here's
why
my
try?
solution then. You let me carry a concealed weapon. Let everybody carry a concealed weapon, and that way, when the terrorist comes along, he only gets to blow up one person before a half a dozen people blow so many holes in him, he doesn't know what he's doing.
You just lost 500 electoral votes.
How's that?
Everybody wants gun control, man. You're in California. You can't run around talking that.
Yeah, no.
You better get up to Inyo County with that kind of nonsense.
I'm not one of those gun control advocates.
Nor am I,
at all.
because I don't believe in such a thing as gun violence. I believe there's violence, and I think people may have guns when they do it. But if you take away the guns, they'll just use knives. You take away the knives, they're going to use their fists. You take away their fists, they're going to yell really aggressively.
Exactly. So how does banning Muslims from coming in here stop the terrorists?
I don't think that it. Well, I think it will slow them down. One thing that, and it's not politically correct to say, and I recognize that, and I feel ashamed for having to say it, but it is a fact. Radical Islamist extremists want to destroy this country.
Oh,
and
I'm not going to argue. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. But not all Muslims are radical extremists.
No, I would never say that. I would never say that. But they absolutely will not budge on this. This is not like a Russia-U.S. thing back in the 80s where, we both had nuclear weapons and we didn't want to kill each other because we didn't want to die.
Mutually
the people that are
assured
flying
destruction.
airplanes into towers, the people that are going into schools and shooting up people like the San Bernardino situation and whatnot, they believe when they die, they're going to get the virgins. In fact, the only way that you can absolutely get your 70 virgins in paradise is to commit jihad. That's the only guaranteed way. Other than that, you just don't know if you get in. You just don't know.
Okay, that's all well and good, but still, I don't see how banning everybody who
I don't think you should ban everybody, and I'm not saying that I have a solution. I'm just it really
is going to solve this problem. It's not, because
one of the things
fanatical that really wants to blow up this country is going to find a way to get in. He's not going to come in through the usual legal channels to begin with.
I'm honestly
banning
I'm not
drugs
afraid.
hasn't worked. Banning assault rifles hasn't worked. None of that.
But Joe, you think that anybody who is for those things is going to accept that as, what, you're right, we should stop? Because I think we should try to stop any kind of ban on firearms.
I don't think they're going to stop, but I don't think that banning is going to stop them either.
Well, I mean,
and I
but
don't think building that stupid wall is going to stop people from coming into this country either.
Of course it won't, and there's no way Mexico's going to build it. We'll probably have Canadians build it before the Mexicans even think about it. But
and even then,
you have to
still
do
have people
something.
coming in.
You have to do something. And I don't know what the answer is. There has to be some type of a screening process, and at the end of the day, and it sucks for me, as an African-American man who has been stopped for no reason and handcuffed because I was walking home too late at night, it sucks to think that you have to do that kind of thing. I'm not for that, but when you're talking about people who are leaving basically a militarized zone and looking for asylum, you just know there are people who are going to be coming in that are not on the up and up. I don't know how you fix it.
Trump's solution to this problem is tantamount to saying, oh, look, I cut my finger and I don't have any antiseptic or a Band-Aid. So since I might get infected, let me just cut off the whole finger. That way I'll avoid the infection.
I don't think that's the same thing.
It is the same thing.
No. I think it would be more like Trump is walking through a field and he's stepping on barbed wire. So he says, you know what, I'm not going to walk through that field. It's not I have to cut off my finger, I have to cut off my foot. It's like I don't have to let people in. America does not have to let anybody in. America has immigration laws. America has rules. All they have to do is enforce those rules, and they've never done that. Now, here's the thing that irritates me.
This isn't even an immigration issue. This is people who might want to just come in to visit family, and they're being denied access.
And you know what? We don't have to let them in. It sucks. When I drive from Oregon into California, I got to stop at a checkpoint where they ask me if I have freaking potatoes in my trunk.
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't have to do that, but I do.
Well, that's to
so
avoid
why is it
bringing insects and other things.
What is more important? A fruit fly from Oregon getting an extra 30 feet,
okay, so
or somebody wanting to come in here and kill people?
By that standpoint, then, as the Muslim people come through the checkpoint, we should ask them, do you have any bombs on you? No?
Yeah,
Well, then you
sure,
come right
why
in.
not? Sure, why not? Why not? All I'm saying is everybody has to recognize America is a very unique place. It is an extremely unique, what do they call it? It's the great experiment. And
yeah.
by and large has failed a great many times, a great many ways. And I think the experiment is coming to term. I think it's about ready to just make that final turn and die, because people don't really understand what America really is. They think it's all about rights. Nobody cares about responsibilities anymore. And at the end of the day, you can sit here and say, I think these people have the right to do this, and I think these people have the right to do that. But what is your responsibility in enforcing those rights? What is you're going to give up so that I can have the right to have whatever you have?
I think you completely
If you let everybody in, you have to accommodate those people. If you don't, you're recreating the situation they're trying to escape.
No, see,
here.
and I think that's where you misunderstand, or I think that's where people misunderstand. We can let people into this country, but that doesn't mean we have to accommodate every one of them.
Yes, we do.
I think if people come into the country, and I'm speaking from a standpoint of immigration, if you want to immigrate to America, you want to come here to become an American, not to be something
so then
outside
should
of
the
some other
question,
country.
so before you are allowed to enter the country, should you be asked, do you disavow any allegiance to the nation you're coming from?
No, I don't think we have to be that extreme either.
Well, then how do you know?
What do you mean, how do I know?
How do you know that they're not coming here and they're just going to play American? Because there's people who've been here for 30, 40 years that still don't speak English.
Yeah, that's very true.
Should they be sent back?
No, I don't think we should send them back.
Okay.
Do you think we should send them back?
No, not specifically, but I think there should be some kind of criteria.
On the other hand, I don't think we should be printing every form that we, make in 6 or 7 different languages.
Oh,
I
it's
think
not
if
6
you
or
want
7, it's closer
to
to
choose
30.
to not learn English or anything else, that's fine. But I shouldn't, as a taxpayer, have to foot the bill for, explaining everything in every language under the sun.
So I think the only thing we successfully concluded is it's a very complex issue.
Oh, unquestionably.
And you know what the easiest thing to do is? Just don't let them in. That's the easiest solution.
And my conclusion is that's wrong, and I'm right.
But it's the easiest solution.
Just because it's easy doesn't make it right.
No, it's not right, but it's easy. And it will stop terrorists.
I don't think it will.
It will. If they can't get in, how are they going to attack you?
I think they will get in.
I don't know.
They'll keep trying until they do. In
It
fact,
will
when
stop
you put the
terrorists.
wall up, it makes them want to try that much harder.
It's the same thing as if you live in a dangerous neighborhood, locking your door. You can leave your door unlocked and say, well, they're probably not bad people if they come into my house. But some point, somebody bad is going to come through that door, especially if they know it's unlocked.
Why does your computer keep turning off like that?
Because I
Do you not
don't
know
have
how
it
to
plugged
set the
in.
power settings? I mean,
No.
that's like really, really irritating that
In that
there's
case,
this
I'm not going to plug it in. so it
glow on
keeps
your
doing
screen
that.
and it...
Dump up the camera.
Fluker, you didn't say a word through this whole argument.
I got this ham sandwich staring at me from the corner of my eye. Plus, this conversation is so boring.
Dang.